Hello, and welcome back to my channel, Holistic Health Flow. Today's episode will be discussing an important topic, binge eating. But first and foremost, I want to say that binge eating is not really about willpower. It's actually about understanding the why behind your cravings. Because once you understand this and understand how your brain and body interact with this, you will be able to break free from that vicious cycle and reclaim your relationship with food. And I'm here to take you into every step of how does it come about, and therefore with this understanding you will be able to go through steps that will help you break free from that cycle. Now, what's important to know is that binge eating is very directly associated with the reward loop in your brain. So what happens is, when you eat food, specifically sugary food or high-fat food, your brain will be releasing the feel-good chemical, which is dopamine. That by itself will strengthen the relationship between eating and the relief of stress or discomfort. Now, when that becomes a habit over time, that association is strengthened and your brain will automatically associate between eating food and relief from stress. And that can also extend to the point where sometimes if you're sad, sometimes if you are not feeling very great, or sometimes just feeling bored, you will automatically revert to binge eating, because this is the association that your brain has now created, that this causes the relief of whatever sensation or emotions that you're having. And because it becomes automatic over time, sometimes people are not even aware that this is ongoing, and they will probably eat large amounts of food, which is what binge eating is about, without actually paying attention to what's happening. But I'm here to tell you that binge eating doesn't define you. By actually taking small intentional steps, you will be able to break free from that cycle. And it's important to break free from that cycle, because binge eating, it actually creates a temporary relief, but then the frustration and the guilt that follows will actually make you feel more stressed and end up making you binge eat a lot more. So we need to break free from that cycle. Now, by understanding this, how do you break free from that cycle? There are many steps that you can take that can actually help you with that. Starting with, we need to understand the pattern or the relationship behind this behavior. So we need to sit with ourselves and ask ourselves, what emotions, what thoughts, what situations bring about this habit? And then write it down, because visualizing this pattern will help you understand it more and see it as a real pattern in front of your eyes. And therefore, you will be able to understand yourself better and try to change that accordingly. Second of all, you need to nourish your body. So a lot of times binge eating can actually come about because you are restricting yourself, or you're not having enough caloric intake. So with restrictive diets that causes excessive hunger, that can come about. So when you have a balanced, fulfilling meals throughout the day, you will break that excessive hunger, you will be eating healthy food, and you won't put yourself at risk of binge eating because you're feeling excessively hungry. Having said that, the third step would be to actually enjoy your food. Try to enjoy and feel the texture, the different flavors in your food. Once you start doing that and concentrate on what you're eating, you will be naturally able to listen to the bodily cues, which are natural when you are full, and therefore you won't be needing more food intake because you're conscious about what you're eating. The other thing is, as you can see, it's a habit. So just like we build that habit in association, we can break it and build another habit that's actually better for our body and for our mind. So some people, to break that cycle, they put another habit instead, which is actually helpful. So things like journaling, exercising, which is extremely helpful in mindfulness as well as for your body health. Some people will revert to talking to a friend, for example, who understands them very well, and actually that helps them break free from that cycle. So you need to see what actually works better for you to help you break away from that cycle, and then build that association. Because then whenever you start feeling these negative feelings, you'll revert to actually something healthy rather than going to something that might actually destroy your body over the long run. And lastly, please don't feel that you cannot ask for help if, despite doing all these steps, you're not reaching to the optimal stage that you want. Because things like cognitive behavioral therapy, psychological support, sometimes support groups can actually be very helpful in closing that loop of the different steps that you need to take to overcome binge eating. Trust me, binge eating doesn't define you, and with these small intentional steps, you regain your relationship with food and make it much more healthier. And recovery from binge eating is possible. You deserve to be able to be in control and at peace with food.